It's spring, and despite the really bad winter, most of my palms got through just fine, and some of my tropicals did great. But I did make some mistakes, and I want to show you those today. And I also want to show you some of the palms that I've uncovered for the season, and they're looking pretty good. Hi everyone, it's Tim. Welcome back to my channel. It is a nice warm day here, and I am so excited to say that it's nice and warm because last week there was ice on the river. It was freezing cold, and it has just improved so much, and I am so happy. So like I said in my intro, I've got a few failures to show you, and I think they're not, well, a couple of them are real failures. A couple of them are failures of systems, but I think it'll be okay anyway. And then I also want to take you through some of my things that worked really well. So it's kind of a mishmash of stuff, but if you're following my channel, that's kind of always the way it is, because I try to show you everything that's going on here. Right now, I've got a lot of my plants out on the deck, enjoying the light. Some of my citrus that I don't always talk about. I have a love-hate relationship with the citrus because they don't love being inside. They really like to be outside, and I just need to buckle down and build a structure for them. But as you have seen, I've got so many structures in my yard right now that adding more, and this year I have to add my agaves into the ground. My tequila agave and my agave americana, they are so gigantic, they've got to go in the ground. I have to build a structure for that. My goal is to build anything I need for the fall this spring and not wait till the fall when I'm in a panic. This past fall nearly did me in, and thank God I hired one of my friends to help me, because otherwise I would have been sunk. It was a really difficult fall trying to get, a lot of things had grown too much. A lot of things just needed to be reworked. And I'm still working on my process, and I have some new ideas that I'm working on, which is going to be on a following video of what I'm doing to try to make these structures easier. But yes, on my deck, I've got some date palms. I've got a few of my tropicals out here. I'm going to bring this over here. I love showing this off. This is an Italian umbrella tree, or the pine nut tree. And one of my friends had this in his seed packet for a couple years and kind of forgot about it and gave it to me. There were 5 seeds in there. I got 3 to germinate and 2 have survived. And I think it's really fun. I'm too scared to put it outside right now, and I figure as long as it's doing okay, I put it out a lot. But it's a fun little tree, and it's fun that it grew from seed. Anything you grow from seed, you always feel like some ownership around it. So it's kind of a just really nice thing. The palms I grew from seed, like this date palm right here, they're always a little more special just because you saw them as babies and you're watching them grow up. I'm trying to think if there's anything else super exciting. There's a couple of citrus that I grew from seed out here that I have no idea what they are. It was something I was cooking with a year or 2 ago, and I don't know what they are, because I tend to, if I'm cooking and there's seeds, I will either put them in a packet and write down what they are. That would be the smart thing. Or I just stick them in a pot with something else, and all of a sudden they come up and I'm like, wait, when did I do that? And what is that? And that's a problem I have. So one day we'll play Identify the Citrus, because I just really, well, let's play it right now. Why not? This is a perfect example right here of what I do, by the way. Because here's a citrus. I have no idea what it is. It's something I grew from seed from cooking, And then if you'll notice in here, I also have tomatoes coming up in here. And that's just because I was reusing some soil, probably from some of my tomato plants that either came up or didn't come up. And all of a sudden I have 2 tomato plants coming up in here too. So that just shows the wonky craziness of my garden. But if any of you have any idea what this is, I would love to know. It's going up really straight as opposed to some of my other citrus here that are not growing up really, really straight. But if you have any idea, I would love to know. Anyway, let's look at some palms. Let's look at some tropicals. Let's look at what worked, and let's look at what didn't work and how I'm going to make it better for next year. Yesterday was a horrible, horrible windstorm. Probably the worst of the year. And even though it's so beautiful out here this morning, I came out to this. So that is my Canary Island date palm structure, and I thought it was really secure around this palm, and I suspect that it just kind of slipped up, which this is a great opportunity to figure out what I might have done wrong on this. And then over here, I'm gonna zoom in. My Chinese fan palm fell over too. Now, that one is not a big palm, and I've known all winter long that that was questionable. So that one is not a surprise. I just hope it's okay. But yeah, over here, that has gone through many windstorms. I have no idea why yesterday's just did it in, but it looks like everything else is intact, and there's things down by the pool that I would worry about more, but it is definitely down. So I'm going out to assess the situation on this beautiful, beautiful morning. So here's my poor Canary Island date palm. It is okay. It's just bent to the side, and that's why they hold up so well from hurricanes, is that they're able to bend. But I want to get this straightened out as quickly as possible so it doesn't get stuck that way. And over here is my Chinese fan palm, and it unfortunately is bent too, but it appears okay, so I just need to get this up. And so here we go. It's back up on the date palm, and I'm just going to, it's really warming up. I'm probably going to just secure it a little bit. And here is the Chinese fan palm. I think I'm probably just going to take this off because it'll just be easier than trying to worry about it. See, these I had wired to the fence, and you can see the wires and anchored in the ground. And those are just not strong enough yet to hold up the structure, which is why I have the wires there and why I needed them over here. In looking at the structure, I realize it's probably going to blow over again because there's just, this isn't strong enough. It needs another brace down here. It's amazing that it got through the winter like this. And I realized I had actually put a hook on the back to hook into the ground, and I did not do it. I must have been rushed. So anyway, it's a perfect opportunity to take this off because it's time anyway. The palm looks really good, really green, but just unfortunate that it did fall over and maybe ripped a couple little fronds, but I will do this better next year. And I realized the error of my ways. So you definitely need more than one brace on this, and maybe because it's such a small palm, although it's almost as tall as I am right at the top there, or it's taller than I am right there, but it still could use some extra braces. And even though I have freed it, I have a little bit of cold weather coming up over the next couple of nights. So I'm going to wrap it in some frost cloth because it's got the lights on it, and it will be fine because it's pretty hardy. And here you go, wrapped up to get through the evening. and I think it's going to be fine. Then we have a big warm up, so it should be fine after that. But I had these from the Trachycarpus I opened up, so I have plenty, very easy to just cover. And here is my unknown Trachycarpus. If you watched my videos before, I bought this as a Wagnerius, and it's definitely not one. It's of an unknown variety that grows really fast, but here I am taking the structures apart. It's really easy. It only has 2 sides, 4 sides of insulation, 2 wood sides, and brace. So it's very, very easy to take apart, and like it literally takes 5 minutes to take it down, which is what's so nice about this method right here. And if it was PVC, it would take even less, that's my goal. And a nice big boat out on the Hudson River out there. Here it is, all uncovered, opened up. I think it looks fantastic. Very happy with this. I'm curious to see how much this one grows this year. It seems to be growing faster than the rest. And it's actually warm outside. Evita the dog is out here looking out, trying to figure out where she can escape. And I've got plants out on the deck, trying to get used to the sun here. And this is just some of them. I have obviously more inside, but this is just a few. In addition to some of the palm trees I'm opening up today, I thought I'd show you. I've got my Hardy Pomegranite out. Hopefully it made it through the winter just fine. I'm in zone 6B. In theory, this should be fine out here because it's a Russian pomegranate. I also have a tropical pomegranate that I grew from seed. I'm gonna leave it covered up for right now. But one year I'm gonna try not covering it, but it's so easy. I just put a tarp around, I put frost cloth and a tarp around it, no lights, no electricity, nothing, and it comes through just fine. So I kind of think, why mess with it? It's so easy to do. But I would love to hear your thoughts. Please put that in the comments. And here's an update on my monkey puzzle. I got nervous this fall, and I had this extra palm box that I hate from a while ago, and I just put it around and wrapped a couple of C9 Christmas lights on the tree and put frost cloth around the box and put a cover on it. And based on the winter we had this year, I'm thinking that might have been a smart idea. I know I can't protect this forever, and in theory it should be okay, but I'm glad I did, and I think it looks fantastic and nice and green. And then, as I talked about down here, there's an extra little shoot coming out that I may try to put some soil up around it and see if I can get it to root before I cut it off. And over here is just one of my other needle palms that I got many years ago. It died and I just never moved the dead plant, and it all of a sudden sprouted, which I was glad. And then I moved it to another spot. This is its new spot, but it wasn't covered. It was just beside this structure here, but it made it. And then over here, while I'm talking about needle palms, let's go visit this one. Sorry about my shadow in the way there. And this one I didn't cover all winter long either, but it is probably a little protected because it's up against the wall there, and then palm structures. And here's my Phoenix sylvestris that I'm opening up just on the front just to get some air in and sun since the weather's nice. It has had many winters out here, and actually took the other side off too just to give it a little more sun, let it breathe a little bit. And here is my Mule Palm that I struggle with because I keep expecting it to grow really fast, but it has not yet. It's been, I think, 2 or 3 winters outside. And this is the first time I'm actually opening up my date palm, my edible date Palm, the medjool date that I grew from seed. And this is its second winter out here. And granted, I can see through this glass to know it's alive and if the lights are on, but I actually opened it today because it definitely needs some ventilation. And I'm sure you're looking at this structure and going, wait, that palm is not very tall, and look how tall the structure is. I decided to just go ahead and make it for the future because I hate rebuilding them all the time, and I had the wood and everything was there, and I had the plastic, so I just overbuilt on this one. But anyway, it looks good. It got through the winter. I always wonder why more people aren't zone pushing date palms, because they get through the winter really well in these boxes. They look better than the Washingtonias do, and sometimes even the Trachycarpus do. They come through really well. Anyway, this is not the best spot for this one, and I have a couple more in pots that I grew from seed that I'm going to put in a sunnier location, because the bamboo over here does block a lot of the afternoon sun. While I'm over here looking at this, I just look up here, and this is why I have palm trees, because I looked up here and there's my Chinese fan palm, and I just got the biggest smile on my face because it just makes me happy. Palm trees make me very, very happy. So if you want to know why I have them, I love them, and just seeing all that green up here is just a place of happiness. Other than being a little bit not quite straight, which I can fix, my Canary Island date looks good despite this whole structure falling over, which if you look in here, you can see I didn't have it super tight, and I definitely needed one at the bottom and probably one up here too. Sorry about the camera, but yeah, I failed on this. And that would have been disastrous had it been really, really cold. But luckily, when the winds were really bad, it wasn't even that cold out. So that helped a lot. And you can see there's just too much play here. It should be wedged. That board should be wedged right up against the truck. And the fact that I can move this, that's too much play on this palm. And if you have a bad wind, and it's just amazing that it made it through the entire winter, and it wasn't until the winds of March that it blew over. Let's take a look at the Bouganvillea. See if there's any sign of life in here, despite my screw up of not having enough lights for this structure, which is a pretty big structure. It goes all the way up to the deck, and that's probably a good 8-9 feet tall. Definitely, this structure is definitely 8 feet tall. I know that from the boards. So not enough lights, even though last year I only had one set and it did just fine, but just way too cold this year. And it looks like a complete fail, which it was flowering when the temperature dropped below 0 Fahrenheit here. And that's pretty cold. We went to about -5, -6, -7 Fahrenheit for more than one day. And I just didn't have enough lights on here. And then I added lights, but I have learned not to just think it's gone. I'm gonna let this get through spring and see what happens. And like I said, I have it's not in the most ideal spot anyway. So if I have to buy another one and do it again, I will move it out. And I want to check on, I have 2 of these, and I'm going to check on the other one, but I think it's in the same state as this. And of course, the other one is just as bad. So this is definitely a wait and see item. Not feeling good about it, but I know Bouganvillea does come back, so it just depends on how damaged it was for those several nights. And anybody who is in like a very marginal zone like Houston or something like that, that has Bouganvillea and they've had those bad temperatures, I would love to know how well they came back. If anyone could chime in.
But back to some happiness. My Mediterranean/European fan palm looks really good. It's happy. And my baby Trachycarpus, they're doing pretty well. I just need to move them out of this structure when it gets a little bit warmer. And this is my Chilean wine palm box. I'm going to open up the back side of this because it's so warm, it's really heating up in there, and I think it could use some air.
I think I'm going to open this up more today. Technically, it should be perfectly fine with the weather we have forecasted, and I could always do something last minute if it gets really, really cold. But this is my beautiful Chilean wine palm hybrid. Love it so much.
And here it is, opened up, at least as much as it can be in the box. And there's new growth in the center. There's almost, well, there isn't any. I don't see any damage on this palm at all. So this method works really well for this palm, and I'm not going to change it. I like having the plastic on two sides so it gets some light. And here is my non-hardy pomegranate. It's a wonderful pomegranate species that I bought the fruit at the grocery store, got it to germinate. It's grown. I brought it inside for several winters, put it out last year, and this year covered it, obviously. And look, there's growth on it despite this horrible, horrible winter. And it was just a tarp, frost cloth, and Christmas lights. That's all I had on it. Phoenix Roebelinni, the pygmy palm, getting some light here. All looking really good. I may have to put the foam board back up if it gets cold again, but I like how it looks. And here are the last two Trachycarpus I have to uncover. And I'm permanently uncovering them for the season. So up here at the ladder, the frost cloth with the zip. You can see the PVC structure underneath, and I just kind of push this aside. This one is not as cramped. The structure, it fits in the structure better than the first one I did last week. And I'm just going to pull all this off. And hopefully it looks good underneath. And yes, it does. Looks better than the first one. The first large one I uncovered down by the pool. It definitely is greener, and I think it's because it wasn't smushed up under as much as that one on the left over there that got a little fried on the side, but it will come back just fine. And I'm just happy with all the bad weather we had that these made it at all. I was a little worried about them. Part of me felt like I should have put a tarp over these to protect them a little bit more than I did, since our temperatures got so low here for so many days. But that just shows how resilient these are. And here's the last one over here to be done. And you can see this one is not cramped under the structure as well. I have to add on to that first structure for sure. And also green here and looking really good. And this is the first large one I ever purchased. And it has grown a lot, but the one on the left of the pool is definitely growing faster than these two. And I have no idea why. And here's all three large Trachycarpus by the pool. The middle one did the best. The one on the right looks pretty good. The one on the left had a little bit of frond damage on it. Pindo Palm, looking good. This one I could probably take the structure off. Maybe I'll think about that. And here's my last Washingtonia that I haven't opened up one side on. And this one's always a little tricky because where the sun is, the ladder is difficult, but here we go, and it looks good.
I am dealing with a leaf blower up on the hill, the train across the river, the wind. It's just very noisy out here right now. But I wanted to thank you for watching today. I know it was a lot of stuff all thrown into one video. And one thing I wanted to bring up, one of my friends in the UK, Richard of Richard's UK Tropical Garden, he has started this new thing where he has friends of the channel, and it's just a great way for the community of palm tree growers and tropical gardeners and just gardeners in general to like and comment and get together as a community and support each other and support our channel. So today I am supporting Richard's channel, and I've been checking it out for the last couple of weeks, and he's got a lot of projects in his backyard, and he has some great tree ferns and some great palms and things like that. But he also has a lot of tropicals, just like my lovely yucca rostrata here that, as you can see, is getting really big, and I really like it. But hopefully I'm going to attach one of his videos on the end of this video, a new thing for me to do with somebody else's video. I'm always learning here. And I also will try to, sorry about the train, I will put in the comments a link to his channel as well. And thank you for watching. And wow, the wind is really strong right now. It's knocking the camera. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe. And I appreciate it.